Sounds good. All right. Thank you everyone for your time this afternoon on this quick workshop. I think we're slated for 45 minutes. It probably won't take all 45 minutes. So anyways, my name is Rebecca Lubarsky. I work with COTG, and that is the vendor that Triton has partnered with to purchase their smart boards and their licensing and all of that fun stuff. So I am usually on campus once or twice a semester giving in-person workshops, but obviously given the circumstances, we're doing this one virtually, which is nice. But yeah, if you guys have questions, following the session, Shelly can certainly pass along my contact information. So if anybody, or I can drop it in the chat for those of you that are live with us today, happy to help and make this help in any way I can. So the point of today's workshop and the agenda is to go over what's called Smart Notebook Online or Smart Learning Suite Online. So basically what this is if it's a tool that you can use to share either your existing Smart Notebook files or new Smart Notebook files with students to do remotely on their own devices. So the nice thing is it's all web-based, so they don't have to download an app or have a certain operating system or anything like that. It's all just based online. So they are kind of putting a lot of R&D into Smart Learning Suite Online. It is fairly new, I would say. In the last year, they've kind of rolled this out, but it's definitely a work in progress. So, there are a couple things that I've come across that I'm like, hey, I wish it would do X, Y, Z, or I couldn't figure out this or that. And just know that as Smart is, making updates and moving forward with their software, they're putting a lot of their marketing and their value into SLS Online. So the website for SLS Online is suite.smarttech.com. SmartTech has 2 T's. And hopefully it won't be too slow here today. It's really thinking about it. So when you first get to the site, I'm actually going to sign out so you can kind of see it from the beginning here. So this is the site. If you've never been here before, you do have to sign up for a free trial. And if this is something you're going to use, just let me know and I can get you a license so that you don't have just, I think it's a 30 or 60-day window. But just let me know and I can certainly pass along a license to you guys. So once you're here and you've gone through the sign up process, all you do is you click on Teacher Sign In, and this is my account, so I've obviously logged in, so I'm just going to click on it, and it'll bring you to this home page here. So hopefully it'll load here in a second. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Here we go. So this is what the main site looks like once you've signed in. Again, this is a great tool to use if you wanted to share your existing files with your students. And you can kind of do this in two different ways. You can either do it in real time. So as you're teaching, the slides on their screen change and you're walking through your presentation and your notes. Or you can also send them a link so that they have access to the content and they can review it on their own time. So it kind of just depends on what you're presenting and how you wanted to use it, but you kind of have two different choices. So let me just kind of walk you through the basics of it, and then as questions arise, you can either drop those in the chat or stop me and interrupt me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. So easiest way to kind of start is across this green border here, it says Add Activities. So basically all you do is you click on that green border and you have to take your content and add it to this site. So if you had, like I said, a PowerPoint file or a PDF or something, all you have to do is you have to import it from your computer to this, this online cloud-based version of Smart. There are some other ones that are just pre-made, like quick little activity templates, and I can certainly walk you through those as well. But just for the sake of simplicity, all you have to do is click import resource. And then it's just going to ask you, where your file is, and all you do is click open here. So once it is uploaded, let me just kind of take a step back here. This is where it shows up. So it shows up just as kind of a list, and here's some older files. And they're all by date and time stamped. So obviously this was one I did on Friday, and then another one that I did last week. So they're kind of sorted by date. And one thing that is in the works is being able to add folders to this, just to keep yourself a little bit more organized. It is not out yet, but hopefully soon. So once you have your file here, I'm just going to use an older one from a couple weeks ago. You kind of have two different choices when you hover over the file. So you have start and you have edit. So if this was something you wanted to make changes to, or make it interactive, or add anything to it, you just click edit. And this is kind of the edit mode, I guess I'll call it, where you'd be making those adjustments and those changes. So for example, this particular file I actually borrowed this one from Smart Exchange, but there's all these different things on here that you can do. So write a thank you letter or list of things that you're thankful for. I mean, this is obviously something for younger kids, but you kind of get the idea. So obviously when the students get it, they can click on this leaf or this link right here, and it'll link them to that point in the file. So let me kind of scroll down and show you kind of the edit mode and how this works. So right here, so if this was something that you wanted your students to do on this page, write a letter to someone you're thankful for, or whatever it is. At the bottom, it says this page is view only on student devices. So when students get to that page in the file, it's just going to show up as a view only. That's the slide that they see. Now, if this was something that you wanted them to do, all you have to do is at the bottom here, it says convert to activity. And you have two choices. You can make that page an individual handout. So think of that as kind of like almost like a worksheet. Everybody's getting their own copy of that page or of that part in the file. And individually, they need to complete this and send in their answers. Or the second choice is to make it a collaborative workspace activity. So basically what that is if you were doing something where everybody was adding content to this page, maybe it was more of a brainstorming session, then you can make it a collaborative workspace. So everyone's contributing, you're generating ideas together. So those are kind of the two choices here. You have the individual handout or the collaborative workspace. So any questions on the difference of those two and what each of them are? No? Okay. So I'll create this one as an individual handout, and then you can just click preview, and you can kind of see, what the students are going to see on their screens. So there are examples in this file, I believe. Let me just go to this page right here of the collaborative workspace. Hold on one second. All of these are, sorry about that. All of these are individual handouts. Oh, here's one. So this green icon right here, this just means it's a workspace. So that collaborative workspace. So this one, for example, what is gratitude? So everybody's contributing from their devices. Everybody has different ideas, and it all generates on this page. And you'll see what that looks like from a student perspective here in a minute when I jump over to the student mode of this. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of more of a brainstorming And then you can see each individual person's contributions. You just click on it and it'll say, you know, Mike contributed that or so-and-so contributed that. So you can kind of see and gauge what each person contributed. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of the edit mode. It's pretty simple. Also, if you have any videos in your files, those will upload as well, so that, again, when you push this to students, which I'll show you how to do in a minute, these videos can be played on their individual devices. So kind of a cool to do it. So, oops, I heard a. Oops. Yeah, was that? Did you drop it in the chat?
Oh, you wanted to chat?
No. Go ahead, because you raised your hand. Fancy. I like that. It just dinged on my. I haven't used Blackboard Collaborate except Shelly and I went through a quick session the other day.
You can't see who raised their hand, so you got to pop out and back and forth. But
gotcha.
So you're sharing this right now on Blackboard, but do the students have to have their own link to get in also then?
Yes, exactly. So they will, once you're done with the editing, then I'll show you how to start the link for students. Yeah, it's pretty simple. They just go to a website, they enter a code, and then this file will show up on their devices. So actually, let me do that right now. Let me finish this. And so basically, to push this to student devices, once you've gone through the edit mode or if you've made any changes, all you do is just click start. And then, so if you wanted to push this, again, you just click start and then see in the top here, there's like the home and then there's two people with a little zero. If you click on that two people with a little zero, that will give you your link and your class ID. So also by clicking on this box with the arrow, it'll tell you students go to this site and enter this particular class ID. So let me do this.
So you have to put like all their emails in and send it?
No, so interesting. So let me, I can't remember how to open an incognito window. Here we go. So if I were the students, I would go to hellosmart.com. Now I'm going to put on my student hat here. And then the students, all they see is this, sign in, which you can create an account, but you don't have to. Or they could just click join as guest right here. And then they're just going to enter that code, which is, let me just kind of get these two screens side by side here. What is it? 523844. Next. Just for, I'll just put you in here because that's not confusing because then I'm not teacher Rebecca and student Rebecca. So you just add your name, click join as guest. So the students don't have to have an account. They don't have to, register with their email or anything like that. And then from the teacher side, see here how it says one student is connected. Got it. And then from the teacher's from the student perspective, I can go through, the file. Oops. Sorry, I'm just trying to get these kind of lined up on my screen here. Whoops. I'm just trying to make it wider and narrow it down a little bit. There we go. So as the student, I can, venture through the file on my own. Now, you'll notice that right now, this is the only thing that I can do. You see how these are kind of grayed out as the student, so I can't, advance the slides or anything like that. Right now, it is on lesson pacing teacher. So I, as the teacher, when I change slides, which I will here in a second, then it'll update on the student side of it. Or you can toggle this over to student pacing, And so you'll see that now I can go to any page in the lesson as a student, and I can kind of go on my own and see, you know, how I want to go through it. All these activities that I kind of edited, you just click start, and you'll see you're given some tools here on the left once it loads. And then you can submit this as an assignment, and then the teacher gets a copy of it. Here we go. So, you know, something I'm grateful for at home. You know, a comfortable house or whatever. And then, so I can, you know, add my contributions here as the student. And then when I'm done, I just click done. And then the teacher gets, let me go to that page. I think, what page was that? 4. Let me go to page 4. So I can click student progress, and I can see all of the, this is an older file too, but I can see all the students that have contributed something on here. And then you can click their name, and you can see what their slide looked like and what their contributions looked like. So yeah, and then I can always go back and edit it. Once it's done, it's not really, you're not really locked in. But the student can add, you know, drawing tools, they can erase, they can add pictures. So if they wanted to say, maybe you had a dog at home you're thankful for, dog, search, and you can add this to, you know, your slides as well. So it's kind of a tool that, you know, the sky's the limit as far as what you want to do with it, but you'll notice that it's updating in pretty real time for the teacher to kind of see what the student's doing. And, you know, I can also delete that, do different things. So, but yeah, that's kind of the basics of it. I know it's a little confusing when you're seeing it, you know, in this mode with teacher and student, the two screens side by side, but it's kind of the easiest way to show it. So forgive me for bouncing back and forth here, but yeah, so when you go to the home screen, another way, excuse me, another way you can use this if you don't want to do it, you know, in real time, if you just wanted to give students access to the file without, you know, doing it and kind of pacing through it. And it's a really simple thing to do. Basically, all you do, let me just do this graphing activity here. You just click on the 3 dots in the kind of the bottom right-hand corner of the file. And the 3 dots, you know, you have 4 choices here, and you can just click share link. And you have 2 choices. You can give a copy to another teacher, or you can, right here, let the students access this lesson and work at their own pace. So you just click get student access link, and then you just copy and paste this, send it to them in an email or whatever. And then once they get it, they can open the file. Again, they don't have to, so now I'm the student again, they don't have to have an account, they don't have to log in. You know, basically all they do is click on the link, sign in. Oh, I guess they do have to sign in now, I'm sorry. I was mistaken, they used to not have to sign in. But yeah, so they just click sign in, and then they enter their Google credentials or Microsoft credentials, and then they can view the file. So that is a new update that I did not realize. So we're learning together here. But yeah, so you kind of have 2 choices as far as, you know, how you want to structure these activities. I would say, you know, more popular is just adding the activities going through, you know, existing PowerPoint files or existing notebook files that you have, and then, you know, kind of making them a little more interactive. And there's, like I said, there's, you know, some ready-made resources here. So if you just wanted like a quick graphic organizer, you can click right down here in red, graphic organizers, and say you wanted, you know, just a page with, I don't know, 3 columns. You just click on it, and then it sets it up for you. And then obviously from the teacher side, you can add, you know, text into each column or images. And then when you're done, you just click finish. And then you just do start when you're ready for the students to access the graphic organizer on their screens. So, and again, to link it or to access the link and the code, you just click on the two little people. And then your class ID is right up here, but if you need the whole website, you just click on the arrow with the box, and then I'll give students the link and then the class ID. And one thing I should mention too, the class ID is tied to your specific account. So that 523844, that's tied to the email address that I used to sign in. So that number, that class code never changes. So I know a lot of instructors use like Kahoot and some of those other, you know, resources, but Kahoot, you know, every time you do a new session or a new activity, the code changes, but this one it'll stay the same, which is nice because from the student perspective, let me grab my student screen here. When they go to Hello Smart, you know, the first time they have to enter that code, but after that, it usually, depending on what browser you're using, it usually just generates a list and you can just click on it. So that code you have to enter the first time, but after that, here, I'll sign out. Here's the activity, but after that, see how it just kind of generates a list here. So the next time, if I said, hey, you know, I want to share this graphic organizer with you, students go to hellosmart.com, they click on your name, join, and then that activity or that organizer or whatever you're doing will just automatically show up. So, you know, the first time, like I said, they'll have to enter the code and go through the whole process. But after that, it's a pretty easy thing to navigate for them. You know, and like this activity, it's just a view only because I didn't change it to the individual handout or the collaborative workspace. So this one, as I'm going through this, if I, you know, write on it, then it'll show up on the student screens. And it's pretty good as far as, you know, some people were concerned about, is there a big lag? Not really. I mean, you saw, you know, how fast it was. It's pretty, within a couple seconds, it usually pops up. So not bad as far as the lag time goes. So, but yeah, and then again, if you just wanted to like, say, send a quick video out or something, you can just click add activities, YouTube, and say I wanted to search for Triton College. Oops, it's taking its sweet time. But anyways, you would just click, hopefully it'll load here. You just click the video. So say it's this one, add. So it imports here, and then you can just click start, and then see how on the student side, it just automatically pushed out that activity, pushed out the video, and then they can play it on their own devices. So yeah, that's kind of the basic rundown of SLS Online. I know that was, you know, probably new to most of you, but if you have questions, you know, you just kind of have to get in here and play around with, you know, adding activities and kind of pushing them out. And the easiest way to do it was pretty much how I did it here, if you want to kind of practice before you go real time with this. So if you get into your your teacher account and you want to open see it from the student side, basically all I did was I added a new tab, and then I used what's called an incognito window, which I'm trying to remember how I did that now. I don't even remember. I'll have to go back in my video and see.
The 9 dots on the right, or the 3 dots on the right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you very much. New incognito window. So that otherwise it's not going to let you be a student and a teacher at the same time. So you just have to go incognito, before. And that's, you usually know which one's which because the incognito window is usually black. So I use that tool quite a bit because then I can, you know, bounce between the two and see it, kind of practice before I, you know, go live with something in front of an audience and stumble through it. So anyways, that's kind of the basics. Any questions? Anything that you need any help on or anything you can think of?
It's really
Let me know.
you know, because when you're on Blackboard, you have to upload everything. Here you can go into the software and make like a chart like that, and you can have like you can have them filling it out like as a discussion during class. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you don't have to have a whole like presentation made. You can kind of just say, hey, let's take a second and let's brainstorm, or I want to show you a quick video or whatever. It doesn't have to be a planned thing. There's also another one that instructors are finding pretty effective. If you click add activities, there's this one right here called shout it out. Again, this is kind of just on the fly. But basically what you can do is you can have the contributions on your shout it out either be random, or you can, you know, set up categories. You don't have to do that. You can just do random, you know, and you can contribute, students can contribute by text or picture. We'll say 3, and then you just click finish. And then you send this out, and let me show you what this one kind of looks like, because this is a good one, like if you're just needing something a little different, a good brainstorming tool. But let me do finish. Let me start this so you can see it. So you just click start for class, and then in the on the teacher side, if I said, you know, what's something you're looking forward to over Thanksgiving break, and say I said turkey, and then the students send a response, and then they just show up as a big like kind of collaboration board here. So if I said turkey and I don't know, football, and you know, and think of this in a bigger perspective, right? So you have, you know, 15, 20 students or whatever, and they're all contributing ideas, and you can click on the individual contributions, and you can see that CHR, it's the first 3 letters of the name that you put in when I joined the session, Chris. So you can see that Chris contributed that, or, you know, if there was somebody else on here. So that's a fun one too, and students usually get a kick out of it. Just kind of a good brainstorming, you know, seems like you always need something a little more exciting. So, but yeah, and that one, if you just click add activities, just shout it out. If you ever wanted to do like a quick formative assessment, this response is pretty neat. And again, you can set this up ahead of time, or you can kind of just do it, you know, on the fly, but you just add a quick quiz here, multiple choice, true, false. You have 5 different, you know, question types, and then you just add your content in here, and then you push this out to students, and then they can take the quiz on their individual devices. So, you know, just kind of a good one for a quick little quiz or knowledge check if you needed to gather some feedback. So those are 2 of them. Chris, I'm glad you brought that up, because those are 2 of them that are pretty easy to just kind of do on the fly, like you said. So, and they were just right here. Or there's all of these ready-made resources as well. So
if we were to sign up for that free trial, does it basically give us a good percentage of the software to use for 30 days, like you said, before we, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So the free trial gives you everything. It's just for a limited time. So I think it's like 30 or 60 days. So if you sign up for the free trial and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'll use this, you know, no harm. If it's something you're like, you know, you get into and you like, just let me know, and I'll put my email in the chat here. Just let me know, and I can send you a license and get you, you know, because Triton has license that are allocated for faculty members that are using this, and so I can get you a license, and then you'll have the full version forever. So
okay.
Yeah. Anything else? I know we're kind of running towards 1:45 here, but just wanted to make sure. Let me Sorry, you're going to see the long hallway here because I'm going to open Blackboard again. Sorry about that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so it doesn't give anybody a seizure here. There we go. And let me put my my email in here. There we go. So yeah, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop me an email or send me a note, and I'd be happy to field any of those or answer any of them. And obviously, you know, if you need anything else, Shelly, who wasn't able to join us today, she had another meeting. Shelly is, through the Professional Development Center, is also a wealth of knowledge on this stuff. So perfect. Laura just said that she will be sending out a workshop eval form for those that joined us today. So look forward to that. You'll probably be getting that via email here shortly, I'm assuming. But yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, we'll kind of wrap it up.
Well,
Sound good? Yeah, absolutely. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Have a good rest of the week and a happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Too.
All right. Thank you.
Happy
You too.
Thanksgiving.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.